Alrighty. So, right now when we lock onto an enemy, it turns red, but right now I'm only able to lock on one enemy at a time. What I need to happen is when there's multiple enemies around, I need to be able to switch lock. And ideally I want it to lock on the enemy that is closest. So when an enemy enters the lock area, if body is in group enemies, it adds enemy to the list in global. Okay. It appends it to the list. Then we call set lock target pure. Global set lock target, yeah. And then when we exit, target locked compound state global dot set lock target. And when we exit the lock state, we deselect the lock target. Alright, Kick, what you doing? Exited, deselect lock target, okay. So deselect lock target is being called here when we exit. Okay. Then became if target is skinned out. Okay, else skinned. Okay. So what I need to happen, every time an enemy enters the area that we can lock, like the area around the player, so whenever an enemy enters a near area, we need to add them to the list, and that's being done. Global.addEnemy, every time they enter, it appends it to the list. When they exit, we need to remove the enemy from the list. How can I remove the enemy? We're gonna have to have a function to remove enemy. How do I search the list to check for the enemy? Is there like a if is in list command? Let's pull up an array documentation. Array. Bool any method. Assign back search. If is in is How do we check? Check if something is in a list. Has method. Bool has. Returns true if the array contains the given value. Has inside. Okay. This might work. Can try that. I'm worried it's gonna... We're just gonna remove the first enemy though. But we can try that. So function for removing enemy, which we are gonna call in player when if bodies and group enemies, we want to call global dot remove enemy with our body. Global dot remove enemy with our body. So body goes in for enemy. If enemies near player dot has enemy, we can remove it. What is the command to remove? Remove find has, okay, find list now. How to remove from list. How to remove from a list in Godot. Because there, I can't find a specific function for it. Remove at, erase. MyArray.remove at. Okay. How to find the index of an element in a list in Godot. Find method. Find. Okay, find. How do find? Find returns the index of the first occurrence of what? Returns the index of the first occurrence of what in this array, or -1 if there are none. The search start can't be specified with from. The search start can be specified with from, continue to end of this array. If you just want to know whether the array contains what, use has, but we want the index. So instead of has, we want to do .find enemy. That gives us the index. Oh wait, no, we want to do has, and then we want to find and set it equal to index. Index or var index equals enemies near player dot find enemy. And then we want to enemies near player dot remove at index. I think. enemies near player. Print enemies near player. Okay, so if an enemy enters our area, they are added to the group. We already know that works. If a body leaves our area, let's see if this works. Remove enemy. So the body goes into remove enemy. Let's see what it prints. So it enters our area, we can lock, right? Now if we get out of range, okay, I think it worked, because we have an array with a character body, and then we have an empty array. So I think that worked. I think that worked. We'll see if it works once we add more enemies. That's the real test. Wait to meet you, join the animatronic family. Okay, now, what if I had multiple enemies? Let's add 2 enemies to our scene. Turn off this fog for a second. Past navigation, outline material. What's that? Okay. Let's duplicate this enemy. Move it over here. Okay. I want to see if they have a different ID. Because if they have a different ID, I think the find at function will work. Or the find function should work. Okay. This range. We're still gonna lock onto this guy though, which is fine. That's interesting. Okay, anyway, let's get out of range. Well, I want to get out of range one at a time. Okay. So out of range of that one, out of range of this one. Let's see what it printed to our console. Okay, so we got in range of Demikim 2. Then we got in range of Demikim 1. Did it have a different ID? It does have a different ID. Okay, so I think this will work. So what we need to do now is we need to figure out how to switch our lock to the closest target. Every time I press tab, I want it to switch to the closest enemy. How can I do that? Oh, did our music stop? Okay, so hold on. So when we press tab, we want can lock to be false when the global array is empty. Bodies and group remove enemy. And then if global dot enemies near player dot is empty, is that a command? Is empty? Returns true if the array is empty. Yes, it is a command. It's empty. If it is empty, then we want can lock to be false, so we cannot lock onto anything. Once can lock is false, we want our state machine to switch to unlocked. So state we'll just say in if not can lock, so when we press tab, we want it to switch target instead of switching to target unlocked. If input, or no, if not can lock, then we send the event target unlocked. Yeah, if wait. Yeah, if not can lock. If input is back action press tab, we want to global.call a function called switch target change target. Yeah. So in global, we'll have a function called change target. Func change target. So what this function is going to do is it's going to loop through everything in our enemies list, find the one closest to the player, and set that to be the lock target. This is getting complicated. But it's possible. Anything in coding is possible. Okay. Step by step. Okay. Add enemy, can lock, current lock target equals body. Okay. Current lock target. If inventory tabbed and can lock, state charges and event target locked. Right. Okay. And then once we go into our target locked, so this is all that's interacting with can lock right there. Okay. On target lock stake enter, global.set lock target. Set lock target is targeting the first thing in the list right now. The lock target position is current lock target dot global position. Okay, we're gonna have to change that. Let's make this function work first. Change target. Function change target. Where am I calling deselect lock target? Oh, here. On target locked state exited, deselect target lock target. Global dot. This is change lock target. This is transition to our states. Okay. Change target. So change target. It is going to loop through the list of enemies, and it's going to have to find the one closest to the player. For I in enemies near player. Is that how we do it? For I in enemies. I'm gonna double check the syntax of a for loop in Godot. For loop syntax in Godot. For blank in blank. Yeah. Okay. For enemy in enemies near player. Okay. Var closest enemy. For enemy and enemies near player. If enemies near player at I at enemy. Wait. We need an iteration value. What's the syntax of a for loop in Godot? What is this? No, if enemy, yeah. If enemy, okay, there we go. For enemy and enemies near player, if enemy, if enemy dot global var closest enemy is gonna have to be set as something equals enemies near player at 0. And if enemy dot global position if enemy dot global position minus global minus player minus player node dot global position. So if enemy at dot global position minus player node dot global position is less than closest enemy dot closest enemy dot global position minus player node dot global position, then closest closet, closest enemy, closest enemy equals enemy. Okay. And enemy dot targeted equals true. So we have the closest enemy set. Now we need to say it's targeted. Once this function ends, once this for loop ends. If I return enemy, then I can how do I wait to do a command until after a loop ends? How to wait to do a command until after a loop ends in Godot. Wait. Change target should be called if input is direction, press tab. Yeah. Just pressed. Place the command immediately after the last line of the loop's code block, ensuring it is at the correct indentation level. What? Okay, so we can just say after this loop ends, enemy, or no, closest enemy dot targeted equals true, right? Current enemy is a character body 3D. Our closest enemy. Change target. We want current enemy dot targeted equals false. Oof, I'm getting lost in the logic a little bit. Gotta turn off this music so I can focus. Big brain stuff right now, big brain stuff. Big brain stuff. On target lock state entered global dot set initial lock target. We're gonna have to rename that. Set initial lock target. Global dot set initial lock target is enemies near player at 0. Current enemy equals enemies near player at 0. And we want to current enemy dot targeted equals true. Okay. So that's the initial. So it's the initial lock target. Initial player lock target. Okay. I don't think we need this variable closest enemy. Or we could just call this all closest enemy because this isn't doing anything for us. I think we just needed it to be a global variable. Alright. And I kind of want to change it all to closest enemy. I feel like that makes sense. Current target, locked enemy, closest enemy. Yeah. Closest enemy. Or should we call it current enemy? Yeah. Let's keep it a current enemy. Current enemy. Current enemy. Okay. Current enemy, current enemy. Current enemy. Current enemy. Okay. So when we change target, current enemy.target equals false for enemy and enemies near player. If enemy.global position minus global player node.global position less than current enemy dot global position minus player node dot global position, current enemy equals enemy. Current enemy dot targeted equals true. Current enemy dot targeted equals true. Yeah. I'm gonna get rid of deselect lock target. This function lock to the closest enemy near player. Okay. So we have a function called add enemy that is adding an enemy to a list of enemies every time the player gets near. We have a function called remove enemy that removes enemies that get far away from the player. Removes enemies from the list that get too far away from player. We have a function that sets the initial lock target that is called every time we enter the lock state. We have a function that locks to the closest enemy near player. Is this going to work? That is the big question. Let's double check our player script. So we're gonna start in unlocked state. If input.isAction press tab and can lock, we go to target locked. Can lock is being set every time an enemy enters our area. If global.enemies near player is empty, can lock becomes false. We're gonna have to change the current lock target. That is affecting the motion right now, but I don't think we need to worry about that just a second. Maybe we do. We'll see. Okay, so when we enter the lock state, we set the initial lock target, which is the first thing in the list. Yeah. No, we want it to be, when we press tab, we want it to find the closest thing to us, not the first thing in the list. God damn it. Ugh. This is stressing me out. We want to find Okay. When we enter the lock state, we want to find the closest player to us, or the closest enemy to us. So we need to basically do the same thing. We need to loop through for enemy. We need to loop through the enemies near player. So the same thing. Yeah. to the closest. Okay. When we leave the locked state, when we leave the locked state, oh crap, how are we gonna leave the locked state? Escape? Yeah, escape. Okay. If not can lock, we transition, and if input, oops. If input dot is action just pressed escape, then we state chart dot send event target unlocked. Yeah. Okay. On target locked state exited. Deselect lock target. I think we did need a function called deselect lock target. Yeah. Change target. Func deselect lock target. Current enemy dot targeted equals false. Okay, I think we covered everything. Deselect lock target. Deselect lock target. Should we try it? Am I ready for the bugs is the real question. Am I ready for the bugs? Is this gonna work? Ugh. I'm nervous. We got 2 enemies there. So we should be able to switch between them. Whenever we press tab, we should lock on the closest enemy to us. Let's do it. No way this works first try. Okay. Come on, I'm over here. So, if I press tab, we should lock on this guy. No. No! What's wrong? Why can't it just work? The first try. Oh wait, what was the bug? I'm gonna have to try that again. Invalid access to property or key global position on a base object of type null. Huh? How is it null? There should be something in the list. How is it null? How is it null? Invalid access to property or key global position on a base type of... So it thinks that enemy isn't... anything. For enemy and enemies near player. Enemies near player should be a list of enemies. Player. If bodies in group enemies, add them to the list. These are in group enemies. Group enemies, group enemies. Body dot is in group enemies. Add them to the list. What if we print enemies near player every time an enemy is added? Okay, yeah. Is our list empty? I just tried this before. Our list should have 2 things in it. Output. Yeah, our list has 2 things in it. Our list has 2 enemies. So why is it saying global position of the enemy is null? Why is it saying that? Set initial lock target. Invalid access to property or key. Global. Did I type it wrong? No. Global position. On a base object of type nil. What? Is it because I'm doing... Oh, I need to do like dot length. Maybe that's the issue? No, that's not the issue. But I know I do have to do dot length here. Dot length is less than this dot length. I don't think that was the issue there. There's something else that's wrong. This is still gonna give me the same error. Yeah. Global position on a base object of type nil. But there was something, How is it nil? How is it nil? What is going on here? Can you put a list of, can you have a list of character body 3Ds in Godot? Yes, you can have a list of character body 3D nodes in Godot to manage multiple characters, duplicate atoms, and scene chain access them via get children. Or storing references in a script. Often using array to hold instances of your character scenes. How to get the global position of a character body 3D in a list in Godot. Assuming you have a variable character list that contains references to character body 3D nodes, you can retrieve the global position as follows. Do I need to say it needs to be an array of character body 3Ds? Add a node. Okay, this is what I'm doing. For character body and character list, if character body is character body 3D, access the global position property, var global pos, vector 3 character body dot global position. This is exactly what I'm doing. This is exactly what I'm doing. Look, it's a list of character body 3Ds. Array of character body 3D. What? This is what I'm doing. I'm getting angry. What is going on? It's saying the list is empty. Is it because I'm removing an enemy? When am I calling remove enemy? I'm calling remove enemy here. But this is if it's exited. Print enemies new player. Why is it saying it's null if it literally says there's things in the list? Help! Print enemy. it printed that there's a character body 3D here. And it knows it's a character body 3D because it's going to this. Local variable. Maybe it's an issue with like pass by reference, pass by value stuff. Yeah. Because I'm adding it to a list, but maybe when I add it to the list, it doesn't see it in 3D space anymore. If I add a character body 3D to an array in Godot, does that array recognize the character body 3D's position in 3D's global position? Okay, when you add a character body 3D to a node array in Go, the array itself stores the node object or a reference to it, not the node's properties. Wait, no. To access the global position property, you would reference the object within the array and then access its specific property using the standard syntax. To get the position, you access the object in the array and its property. If character list outside the array, var first character position equal to character list at 0 global position. No, that's what I'm doing. That's literally what I'm doing. Character list at 0. Dot global position. Character list at 0 dot global position. First character position. So what's wrong, man? What is wrong? Can you get the global position of how to get the global position of a character in the list in Godot? No, this is what I'm doing. Bar my character, get node. If my character list out append my character. If character body is character body 3D, var go position is character body dot global position. This is what I'm doing. This is exactly what I'm doing. Oh my god. So why is it saying global position will be set of type nil? Enemy dot global position. Don't understand, man. Don't understand. What do you want from me? Global position. I typed it right? Yeah, everything is typed correctly. Global position. Should I type it again, maybe? Enemy dot global position. Is it saying the player node is null? Player node equals player. Maybe it's saying the player node is null? Can't be right. Player node equals player. Print player node. No, our player is not null. Our enemies are not null. Oh my god. Wait. It's this. It's this. Oh my gosh, it's that. Current enemy is null. Current enemy is null. Okay, okay. Wait. So we need to set current enemy to enemies near player at 0. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Am I dumb? I'm dumb! God damn it. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh! It works! Wait, does it work? It doesn't work. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, wait. It sort of works. It works when I'm on this side of them. It works when I'm over here. Wait, does it? Now it's not working at all. Okay, it works when I'm on this side of them. No, it doesn't. What's going on? Something's wrong with my vector math, I think. Okay, at least we're not getting bugs anymore. I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. Why did I spend 30 minutes to find that bug? Okay, so I can get rid of this. Let's keep this. Oh my god! I can't spend that long with that stupid bug, man. Ugh. It's such a waste of time. Well, at least we figured it out. Focus on the positives. Focus on the positives. I guess. My God. Okay. Okay, so set initial lock target. Sets the current enemy to enemies near player at 0. For enemy enemies near player. If enemy.global position minus global minus player node.global position dot length is less than current enemy dot global position minus player node dot global position dot length, our current enemy is enemy. Current enemy dot target equals true. That's the initial lock target. Change target. Current enemy targeted equals false for enemy and enemies near player. If enemy dot global position minus player node dot global position less than current enemy dot global position minus player node dot position, current enemy equals enemy, current enemy dot targeted equals true. False. When we deselect lock target, we want to set current enemy back to null, right? Yeah. Target lock state exited. Deselect lock target. And input as action press escape state chart to send event target unlocked. Global.deselect lock target. So deselect lock target should also set current enemy equal to null. Current enemy equals null. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what was the issue when I was running it? At least we don't get errors. Jesus. Okay. Correct. Everything is correct there. If I hit escape, that works. Correct. Tab. 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 Okay, that is fine. Escape. Exit lock mode. Now, there was an issue when we had 2 enemies near us. Where did you go, other enemy? Okay, right here. Come on. Okay, we got 2 enemies on us. Now, if we hit tab, it should lock on the nearest enemy. which would be, hold on, we're gonna have to fix that. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. Okay, it should be you. Yeah. But if you get closer to us, now it should be you. Okay, correct. Now it should be you. But that's not working. Whoa. It's setting it to the farther one. Okay, so there's definitely, I think it's just an issue with my vector math. If enemy dot global position minus player node dot global position dot length. Isn't length a magnitude? How to find the closer object to the player in a list of objects. Godot. I thought I did that right, but maybe not. To find the closest object to the player in a list in Godot, you need to iterate through the list. Yep, check. Calculate the distance from the player to each object. Keep track of the object with the smallest distance found so far. I thought I did that. Must have done it wrong. Var closest object node equals no. Var closest distance squared. Okay, so do we need to square it? Var distance squared. Float player position dot distance squared to current object dot global position. If distance squared is less than closest distance squared, closest distance squared equals distance squared, closest object equals current object. Okay, so we have to square the distance. Distance squared to. I thought we could just do that with subtracting the vectors, no? Enemy.global position. Minus player node.global position. Position of enemy, position of player, subtract the two, and you get this. Doesn't matter. Humga. Humga. Supporters. I'm just rename this supporters forest. Scenes. Rename supporters forest. Oh my goodness. I need to put a bridge there or something. Hey, I just inadvertently, without thinking, fixed another bug. That's cool. On this and can lock thing. Cool. Anyway, let's see what AI suggests to do for this. Distance squared, player position dot distance squared to current object dot global position. Player position is the global position. So player node dot global position dot, or wait, no, yeah. Distance squared to enemy dot global position. Distance squared. So it says we should do something like if, instead of this, if player node dot global position dot distance squared to enemy dot global position is less than player node is less than player node dot global position dot distance squared to current enemy dot global position. Yeah, well, something like that. Is less than this. Can I not? Oh. That is messy. I need to maybe change that a little bit. Also paste it there. Okay. Current enemy is on me. So what is this distance squared to? Returns the squared distance between this vector and 2. Okay. I didn't know of that. Okay, so this should work now. Yeah? Let's turn on fog. Let's try it out. Okay. Let's get 2 enemies on us. Tab. Correct. Tab. Correct. Tab. Still correct. Tab. Correct. Tab. That one's closer now. So every time I hit tab, it should be going to the closer player. Yes. Yes. Tab. Yes. Cool. Should we try it with more than 2 enemies? Let's try it with more than 2 enemies. And unlock just gets us out, okay. Let's add multiple enemies, see if that works. No reason why it wouldn't. Alright. Let's put an enemy over here. Let's put another enemy over here. Let's move this guy. And let's put an enemy over here. Spread them out a little bit. 5. Let's add another one. Make it 6. Whoa, sorry. Okay, we have 6 enemies now. We should be able to tab between all 6 of them. Select the closest one. Okay. So if we can get all 6 around us. Tab, correct. Tab. Tab. So our current lock target needs to be changed. But the tab seems to be working. Yes. Look at that. We can select the closest enemy to us. So every time an enemy is getting closer, I'm hitting tab. No bugs. Nothing in the debugger. Cool. I need to adjust my lock target though, but that shouldn't be too hard. Alrighty. Victory for tonight. Victory for tonight. Do I want to do anything more? I could do the lock target thing. Because right now we have our current lock target on whatever body enters. In global, we just want to say player node dot current lock target equals current enemy. Right? This body. And then in here, current lock target at global position. Yeah. I think that's all I have to do to fix that. Player node.current lock target equals current enemy. Copy this, put it here. So I don't want this. Hey, that was some advanced coding today. I'm proud of myself. So now, when we select a target, we should be strafing around that specific target. Okay. Select a different target. Yep, so now I'm strafing around him. When I get closer to this guy and I select him, now I'm strafing around him. Yes, yes. Okay. What if I get closer to him? Yes! Look at that! So any target I select, I am now actually targeting them. I'm strafing around them. Yes. Yeah, this gets hard when there's more enemies for sure. This combat's gonna be hard. Cool. Cool. We did it. I think that is it for tonight. That's about all the coding I have in me. I don't even feel like going back and checking the comments. Yeah, I think I'm done. I'm done. I'm ending stream. I don't think anybody's watching, but if you are, I'm ending stream. Have a good night.